We were up there for maybe 20 minutes and we started taking RPGs and machine gun fire. As soon as it was over, I felt great. It was almost a relief. It's like it's not gonna end badly every time. Like I said, we look forward to gunfights. We tended to put ourselves in a situation where we would get shot at. I was there for 7 months before I got wounded in February. But yeah, that's, like I said, the first engagement in Ramadi cured, in my opinion, it cured the PTSD from Fallujah. As far as the injuries go, the grenade blast, like I said, was over our heads. For me, it must have broke my helmet, as it fractured my skull this way. They performed what's called a craniotomy in Fallujah Iraq. Called my wife and told her to pack her bags because she was going to Germany to see me, and that's never good news. They don't send a spouse to Germany to bring their spouse home. But instead of sending me to Germany, they got a hold of the neurosurgeon in Bethesda, and he had them, for the first time ever, put me on a C-130 in Balad and flown straight back to the States. From what I gather, that saved my life. Other than the head injury, I caught a lot of shrapnel. The broken skull, my brain swelled pretty quickly, and I had a stroke. I have partial paralysis in my left foot. But other than that, it's just a lot of different shrapnel injuries, basically all over arms and legs. Once the rehab was over and they sent me home back to upstate New York where I grew up, that's when things got, it's more difficult just leaving the service and then trying to get back to normal. Looking back, that was easy. It was simple. It's straightforward. You know what you're going to do every day. You got a mission, you got a plan, and there's really nothing else to worry about. Well, that changes when you get home. I had my son in 2008 when I still hadn't been discharged yet. I wasn't ready for that. I said that Ramadi had cured my PTSD. I guess it really didn't. I still had what they call hypervigilance. You know, always, if you're at a restaurant, you sit in the corner, you're looking, you always have a plan. You know, for a while I didn't like driving because you see garbage on the side of the road. It's not garbage. That's what you're thinking. And just trying to get back to, again, normal. You know, I couldn't hold a job for a long time. I'd work for somebody for 3-4 months, and then I'd just be tired of it. I'd move on because it didn't seem meaningful. You know, the longest I've ever worked for somebody is most recently I've worked as a welder fabricator, and I was into that 6 months, and I was still enjoying it because it was different every day. I was learning something every day. Well, on lunch at that job, I had a seizure, which was surprising because I've had a couple before, but it was before that. It was almost 11 years since I had one, 10 years. So that was strange. I decided I better go to the VA and get that looked at least figure out why that happened again. And that kick-started a whole new process. What that ended up being was the first symptom of my implant, my plastic plate, becoming infected. And come to find out, they can't just treat that with antibiotics because it's plastic, and once the infection gets into that, they can't kill it. So, I mean, it took them another 5-6 months to figure out. They had to rule everything out because that's a big deal when they have to take this. They have to take the plate out again, and then you got to go at least 6 months without it just to make sure the infection's cleared and a whole bunch of other things. So that was scheduled to be put back in this past April, but then the world shut down. It was a virus. It ended up being over a year without anything on this side of my head. We ended up having to put skin expanders on this side of my head just so there was enough skin. As the skin on top of my head, that's part of the infection, it died, and they had to cut it out. Well, I was missing too much skin to put the new plate back in. So I was on skin expanders for, I don't know, 4 months before they had stretched it enough to do the surgery again. In October, they were able to put the new plate back in. Yeah, it's good now. Everything went according to plan. Better not have to do that again, because that was rough. The world's still shut down, but they were able to do that. Somebody who's going to help me out would be Dane. And I kind of feel bad now, because putting him on that roof led to his ordeal. I didn't want anybody else up there because I didn't want him getting hurt.